This is my ROH Winter Warriors Tour review. I'm reviewing the Atlanta, Georgia show that just took place this last Saturday. Ring of Honor Wrestling.com has it up as a video on demand right now, and I would definitely highly recommend this show. Going into it, one of the main reasons why I went out my way to purchase this show and want to watch this tonight was AJ Styles versus Bobby Fish, and obviously the other match with that I was looking forward to on here was Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong as well. And I expected those two matches right there were going to be great, and they were. And the other thing that got a lot of hype with this show, which I didn't expect it to be great, and I kind of was right that it wasn't great, but it was still fun. The main event with the Briscoes versus the Kingdom. While it wasn't great, it was fun, and I definitely could see why it probably got a lot of hype, because it was one of those matches that I could tell that even though I enjoyed it, it's one of those matches that if you were there in person, I could tell you would love the match, because it was one of those type of matches where they did a lot of crazy stuff in there. They did stuff out in the crowd and everything. So it was basically like a match geared to the live crowd, but it was still good as far as watching it on the video on demand as well, seeing the main event with the Briscoes and Kingdom. But the other stuff that I enjoyed on here as well was Matt Sydal versus Delirious. I mean, they have a storied past. They have had great matches with each other in the past. The feud that got them their spots in Ring of Honor originally were their feud and their match in 2004 that really got them attention with Ring of Honor management, and then Ring of Honor started using them back then in 2004, which is a year that a lot of stars were made in Ring of Honor. Then other than that stuff, you had a solid undercard on here. Really, nothing was bad. I mean, you even had a match with Moose on here, which people know I'm not the hugest fan of Moose. You actually had a Moose match on here that was very entertaining. Definitely the best I've seen him perform yet. And you saw a few, guys given chances on this show that I would want to see more of, especially one that was involved in one of the early matches, but I'll talk about that when I get into my review. So let me get into the review. The show kicked off with Caprice Coleman versus Mike Posey. This match, while it wasn't great, it was a solid match. And one of the things I loved about it was I've been a longtime fan of NWA Wildside. Now it's known as NWA Anarchy. It's the promotion where AJ Styles got his start in professional wrestling. Mike Posey and Caprice Coleman are veterans of NWA Wildside. Caprice Coleman's been wrestling there for years, and that's where I first saw him back in the day. So this is kind of like an NWA Wildside match to kick off the show, kick off this Ring of Honor show right here. So that was kind of cool, and it was obviously geared to the Atlanta, Georgia crowd. Definitely a smart, decision to put this as an opener. Two guys that kind of got their start in Atlanta, Georgia, wrestled in a territory down there, or an indie down there, I would say, because territories are dead, so an indie down there they wrestled in. So it was a fun, solid opener. Nothing great, but a solid opener. The crowd enjoyed it. Caprice Coleman won with the leg drop off the top rope to Mike Posey. Solid, 2 and 1 4-star match. A decent way to start the show. And really, the only match on the show I would say was anything that anyone could call a weak match was that match. And it was still at least entertaining for what it was. And then the next matchup was Corey Hollis versus John Gresham. And this match didn't really have an ending to it. I'll talk about that. You had Corey Hollis and John Gresham, taking on each other, showcasing what they can do in the ring, and trying to make a mark for themselves in Ring of Honor. You had them wrestle for a few minutes before the match started. You had BJ Whitmer and Adam Page come out here of the decade, and BJ Whitmer is basically saying, I'm scouting for, new recruits, new young boys for the decade, and he basically wanted to say, I'm coming out here to see what you two guys can prove to me. And they wrestled each other for a few minutes. Corey Hollis, I've seen before. I've enjoyed his stuff in PWX and Carolina Indy, and I definitely think he deserves a spot in Ring of Honor. And this is the first time I've seen John Gresham, and he definitely impressed me a lot here. Not only was I impressed just in this part of the match where it was just these two taking on each other, but definitely when it turned into a tag match, which what happened was Adam Page got a steel chair. He tried to give it to Corey Hollis, which them two have a pass with each other as far as a tag team, so he wanted to kind of help him, looking like they were going to have him join the Decade or something. That's what they were at least teasing there. Corey Hollis didn't do that. And then BJ Whitmer came in there, attacked John Gresham, and then it ends in a no disqualification. Then Corey Hollis gets on the mic, basically, you know, calling the Decade, BJ Whitmer and Adam Page bitches, come in the ring, take us on. Turns into a tag match with the Decade of BJ Whitmer and Adam Page versus Corey Hollis and John Gresham. And this was a fun tag match. I mean, this was really good stuff. I've already seen Corey Hollis, so he's already impressed me in the past. But John Gresham, he really impressed me in this tag team match. I want to see more of him in Ring of Honor. Great stuff from him in here. BJ Whitmer, you know, really did a good job putting over, you know, the younger talent in here. And just a, you know, fun, entertaining tag match. And the Decade won it. Obviously, you knew they were going to pick up the win, but Corey Hollis and John Gresham look very good here, and I would definitely like to see both of them more in Ring of Honor, and definitely more of John Gresham in Ring of Honor because he really impressed me. Really fun tag match. Decade pick up the win, like I said, about 3 1/4 stars. A fun tag match. Definitely a match that I would say if they would have aired it on, Ring of Honor TV, people would have definitely enjoyed it. It was like a good match that should have been used for ROH TV, which I don't know if they're going to be using anything off this show on Ring of Honor TV, considering this week we're going to get the preview. Then next weekend they're going to be doing a set of tapings, so maybe fill in because they need to do something for not this week's special because they're this week's TV because they're just doing a preview for the 13th anniversary show. But next week they need to fill in for something, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see some action from this show, not on this week's Ring of Honor, but next week's Ring of Honor possibly, because they did have matches from the Dayton, Ohio Winter Warriors tour used for television as well. So after that match with the Decade and Corey Hollis and John Gresham, you had Delirious versus Matt Sydal. And as I said at the beginning of this video, these two have had a storied past with each other, had great matches with each other in the past, and I was expecting this to be just like their matches in the past, which it pretty much was. Now, I've seen better matches with Matt Sydal and Delirious, but it was fun. I mean, this was just, fun back and forth action. Great seeing, these two right here, their matches is what got them attention from Ring of Honor management, and this is what got them pretty much their jobs in Ring of Honor. You had Matt Sydal then have, kind of, some success, meteoric success in WWE as Evan Bourne, and Delirious, I mean, now he's, Ring of Honor trainer, head trainer, and he's a booker as well. So, success from both of these two that, before 2004, they were nothing in Ring of Honor, and that was when they got their start, and they've had great matches with each other. Before Matt Sydal left Ring of Honor originally to go to WWE, his last match was against Delirious. So it was cool seeing these two against each other in 2015, and it was very fun. Enjoyed the match a lot, and Matt Sydal picks up the win after hitting the shooting star press to Delirious in about a 3 3/4 star match. Really great stuff from them. Enjoyed it a lot. Definitely a match on the show I would recommend people to go out their way to see. Then the next matchup was Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong, and this was, oh my god, this was a great match. Very hard hitting, like you would expect, back and forth action, just great stuff from these two. Enjoyed it a whole lot. Like I said, what you would expect from this match, they delivered. A hard hitting, balls to the wall match, great technical base match as well. Just a fun match, and I would definitely recommend people to go out and see it. I love the one spot in the match where you had Roderick Strong trying to go for the gutbuster on Kyle O'Reilly. He reverses into a guillotine choke, then flips him over, gets him into armbar, working over his arm, arm breaker, working over his arm. And not only was it a lot of hard-hitting strikes in here, it was a good technical match as well, and just great stuff. Like I said, recommend this match to everyone to see. And Strong picks up the win in this match against Kyle O'Reilly. Definitely a great match. Those two great matches back-to-back right there. 4-star match for the Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly match. Then the next matchup was not a great match, but probably the surprise of the night, just because I haven't liked anything I've seen of Moose up till this point. This was the first time that I've seen Moose in a match where he actually did impress me. Now, you kind of could maybe say that was because who he took on as well, but still, Moose impressed me in this match. This was Moose versus ACH, and obviously you knew this type of match with Moose probably was on paper the best match you could book Moose in to try to get him over. And you know, he's already over with the crowds. I mean, he was a former football player for the Atlanta Falcons, and they were Atlanta, Georgia, so he was obviously heavily over with the crowd. I mean, you had John Abraham of the Atlanta Falcon, formerly of the Atlanta Falcons, and in his corner in this match, and you had Stokely Hathaway as well in his corner, obviously as well. And just this was a fun match. I mean, it was, you know, the big unstoppable force of Moose versus, you know, the crazy high flying style of ACH, and it just meshed very well and worked perfectly with each other. The only things I probably could gripe about in this match, and in some cases I don't really, you know, fault them for doing it, because you know, you want to have Moose seem like he's, you know, a not your typical big man as well, but even though in some cases you want to make him your typical big man, just because then you would have something a little more original in Ring of Honor with him. So maybe I would, you know, tell him to cut out with trying to do some high flying stuff in the match. And really the one part that kind of turned me off, but they were kind of making it as, you know, ACH, you know, he's this little motherfucker that wants to go out there and show how strong he is against this, you know, obviously much more stronger competitor. So he was trying to lift up Moose a number of times. He actually did pick him up for a Death Valley driver. I don't know if I would have done that, because that kind of made Moose not seem as unstoppable as he was. But the one part in this match where you saw some stuff from Moose that I liked for the first time was you saw a number of things in here that he started doing a little more moves than just doing the spear at the end of the match. I really liked the one thing he did, which I would probably say might be able to be used as his permanent finisher, which was him throwing up ACH, hitting him with a lariat, and that looked brutal as hell. ACH sold that great. And then obviously the match ends with Moose picking up the win with the spear against ACH. Very entertaining match. 3-star match. Definitely the best match I've seen with Moose up to date. Obviously, this Sunday we'll see him against Mark Briscoe, but I don't expect that to be as good as this match. ACH and him just worked very well with each other, and first time I've been impressed with seeing a Moose match in Ring of Honor to this date. Then the next matchup was 6-Man Mayhem. This featured the TV champion of Jay Lethal, 3 competitors that are going to be in the 4-way main event this Sunday on the 13th anniversary show, and it had Will Ferrara basically subbing in for Jimmy Jacobs because Jimmy Jacobs couldn't make it there, and you had Cedric Alexander. So all the competitors in the match was Will Ferrara filling in for Jimmy Jacobs, Cedric Alexander, Hanson, Michael Elgin, Tommaso Ciampa, and Jay Lethal. 6-Man Mayhem. This was insane. I mean, this was very fun stuff. I liked it a lot. I like the stuff with Cedric Alexander and Tommaso Ciampa in here, which a little while ago on Ring of Honor TV, we saw a really entertaining no DQ match with them two. So they worked very well again with each other in here. Then you saw all the competitors, the 3 competitors other than, you know, Jay Briscoe obviously as well, who's going to be in the 4-way this Sunday on the 13th anniversary show. So you saw Elgin and Ciampa against each other, and you saw Hanson as well. He looked great in here. Will Ferrara, I got to give it to him. You know, obviously he saw this as his spot to try to prove himself. I mean, Jimmy Jacobs couldn't make it due to weather. He basically was given a shot here, thrown into this match at last minute, and he looked really good in here. I mean, Jay Lethal as well. Jay Lethal has been great as TV champion. I've already said it before, and he looked great in here. Just fun, you know, balls to the wall, crazy action, tons of, you know, high spots in here. Just what you would expect with a 6-Man Mayhem match, and just great stuff. Hanson picks up the win after he hits. Hanson picks up the win after Cedric Alexander tries to come in there with a springboard, hits him with the spin kick of doom. So Hanson picks up the win here, looking strong going into the 13th anniversary show. Very fun. match right there with the 6-Man Mayhem. 3.5 stars. Really enjoyed it a lot. And then the next matchup was the match that I ordered this show for, which was Bobby Fish of Red Dragon taking on AJ Styles. And this match, I knew it was going to be great, but it probably even topped my expectations because I expected something really good, but it turned out to be a great match. I loved what they did in here. You had, some hard-hitting strikes from both of them back and forth, a lot of back and forth action, good mat wrestling as well. Just a fun, entertaining match with AJ Styles and Bobby Fish. Just great counters as well. Just a very fun match. Crowd loved it. I would say easily this was a match of the night. And this is one of the matches, along with a few other matches earlier on, that I would say definitely go out your way to see this show because of this match and a few of the other matches that happened before this. And AJ Styles picks up the win, which the ending of it was really good. You had AJ Styles hit Bloody Sunday to Bobby Fish. Then he did his new thing, which is something AJ Styles has been doing recently, basically to sell how so-called dangerous the Styles Clash is. Before he hits the Styles Clash, he basically drops you down on your head. He calls it the hollow point, and then he locks in the Styles Clash, hits the Styles Clash on Bobby Fish to pick up the win. Just a great match, definitely match of the night. 4 and 1/4 stars. There's been other matches that have obviously been much better this year from it, but I would say, match of the year candidate at least. I mean, at this point in the year, it's probably maybe in the top 10, top 15 matches I've seen this year, but definitely a fun match. Something I would definitely recommend people to go out their way to see. Great stuff from Bobby Fish and AJ Styles there. And then the main event was the Kingdom versus the Briscoes. Now, I heard a lot of good things about this, and I would say, like I said earlier, that a lot of that was probably due to the live audience. I mean, this was obviously a match that was geared more to the live crowd than us, watching home on the video on demand on RingOfHonorWrestling.com. It was more directed towards the live audience, but still, it turned out to be a fun match, even for me to watch as well. You had this was the tag team Armageddon match, 2 out of 3 falls. The first match was a regular match. Second match was the tables match, and then obviously if the third fall was necessary, which obviously in all 2 out of 3 falls matches, the third fall is necessarily, it would be falls count anywhere. That was what the last fall was. It was either falls count anywhere or no DQ. Can't remember at the current moment, but this was fun stuff. I did enjoy it. It's probably one of the best matches you've seen so far with the Kingdom and the Briscoes against each other. I do like the pairing of Mike Bennett and Taven against each other. The first fall, it was kind of slow paced. I wasn't really into it until the end of the first fall, I gotta say. The end of the first fall came when you had Mark Briscoe pin Bennett after the Briscoes hitting a Doomsday device to the Kingdom, so the Briscoes win the first fall. And then the second fall, this is really when the match started picking up, and I really got into it. The second fall, like I said, was a tables match, and this was very fun stuff from them, and there was a number of things in this match that, like, oh my God, there was a number of holy shit moments in this match that, really made it here, and that was the end of the second fall, which was Taven and Bennett. You had Bennett and Jay Briscoe. You had them battling it out on the apron with each other with a table under them. Briscoe tried to hit the J Driller to Bennett. Bennett got out of it. Then Bennett, got him into the pile driver position. The Taven got on the top rope, and they did a spike pile driver through the table to Jay Briscoe. So the Kingdom won the second fall, so it's tied 1-1. Goes to the third fall, obviously. And the third fall is where it goes completely crazy, and that's I think it was a no disqualification or false count anywhere match as far as the third fall. I think it was false count anywhere. And they brawled outside the ring. They went into the crowd. Mark Briscoe did a crazy dive. He got on the scaffolding that I think has where the hard camera is. He got on top of there, did a splash through a table to Matt Taven. Matt Taven was bloodied at this point during the third fall. Jay Briscoe was bloodied as well. And then the end of the match, another holy shit spot. There was a number of holy shit spots that really made this match entertaining. The ending, it wasn't. None of the ends of the matches, the end of the first fall, second fall, and third fall, they were all, you know, none of them were anticlimactic. It wasn't like, oh my God, that's how they end the fall. No, there was like, holy shit, that's how they end the fall. Because they end the first fall with the Briscoes hitting the Doomsday device. Then, you know, the second fall, the Kingdom win by hitting the spike pile driver through a table. The third fall ends when Bennett is outside the ring. He's got Mark Briscoe on his shoulders. It's obviously looking like you're going to see them hitting their version of the Doomsday device. Matt Taven's inside the ring, dives over the top rope onto Mark Briscoe and ends the mat. And then after hitting the Doomsday device, their version of the Doomsday device, then Bennett pulls in Mark Briscoe, goes for the pin, and the Kingdom win the third fall, and the Kingdom win the match. I would say 3.5 stars. Very fun main event. Obviously, a match I would say that was probably even more enjoyable for the live crowd. I could just imagine it. But you know, on this show, you had a very fun main event. That wasn't great, but it was fun. But a lot of the other stuff was great. I would say overall, I'd probably give the show about an 8 out of 10, maybe an 8.25, probably an 8.25 because you had a fun main event. While it wasn't a great main event, it was a fun main event. But then you had other stuff that made up for the main event. I mean, you had the great match, the classic match with Bobby Fish versus AJ Styles. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly was great. Matt Sydal and Delirious delivered another great match from each other. And you had a solid undercard. So I would definitely recommend people to go out their way to see this show. It's definitely a show that is perfect to watch before the 13th anniversary show this Sunday, live on pay-per-view. It just will get you more hyped for that pay-per-view because this was not only what I say, obviously, that I enjoyed the show a lot and I thought it was a good show, but it was even a better show that it got you more hyped for the pay-per-view because this was their last major show before the 13th anniversary show. So definitely recommend this show to everyone. It's only $14.95. You can watch it anytime on video on demand on ROHWrestling.com. I'll put the link in the description. And yeah, that's it for my review of ROH Winter Warriors Tour, the February 21st edition from Atlanta, Georgia. All right, peace.